Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. I hope that you're doing well. I wanted to talk today about well-being and self-care, and it's particularly relevant to me since, as you know, I was in the hospital recently with a surgery, and when I came out, I had to kind of regroup myself and didn't realize just the impact it might have on my life, physically of course, but also mentally and spiritually. And so after reflection and sort of spending time just getting better and exercising and seeing the doctor every few days, I actually consider that whole experience to be a gift. It's a gift of a wake-up call, that I need to make some changes to my health and to my lifestyle. And I'm only sharing this with you, not really to go on about my own situation so much as to say that many of you are probably dealing with this too. That you've got a diagnosis or you've had an operation or that you're feeling, it happens as you get older. It's what it is. Our bodies are just human. We just have, the realities of aging. But for me, this was a real gift, and I treasure it. And I just want to share with you some of the things I'm changing in my life and things that I'm doing, and maybe you can relate to them as well, and it will be useful in your journey because we're kind of in this together. That's kind of how I view it. But anyway, the first thing is my body, of course, and that is to nourish it. Now, I wouldn't say that I was a bad eater, that I ate a lot of, crazy foods. I'm more of a vegetarian or a pescatarian, is that what they call you? I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I do eat chicken occasionally, but also fish. I love fish, and that was a good thing. That's a good thing that I'm going to continue. But I would consider my lifestyle to be not excessive. However, I loved butter. I loved cream. I loved, not so much sugar, but things with sugar in them. And I wasn't careful about choosing things that had a lot of sugar or not. I was a cookie nibbler. And I think I've mentioned this to you before, that I would go to bed with 2 or 3 cookies or more and just sit and nibble while I was drinking a cup of tea and getting on to sleep in a minute. That's another whole category. But food, I just need to shift the food. Now, my gallbladder is necessary for digestion. My poor little liver is doing all the work themselves right now. So I had to be thoughtful about fatty foods, butter, things. Not to deny myself these things. I still, my toast, when I have toast in the morning, and that's another thing, not too much bread. But when I do these things in moderation, I realize that I'm giving my body a chance to heal and a chance to, sort of live longer and live happier. So nutrition is super important, focusing on whole foods, more of a plant-based diet. I actually buy salads now. I'm terrible with salads. I don't like salad, and so I had to really, because I never used to like to make it. My fan, by the way, it's super hot here today. And so I used to never, really eat salads, but now I buy them ready-made, and one ready-made salad, which may cost 8 francs or something, I can use like 3 times. I can use a little bit of it in 3 different meals. So that's another thing, just ways that you can, use food to stay healthy. Also stay hydrated. I know it's a plastic bottle, but I do actually reuse them or recycle them. But water and hydration is also very, very important. So that's something else to do. Another thing is to sleep, practice restorative sleep. Now, I still do my sleeping habit that I mentioned to you many times before, and that is I go to bed about 9:30 or so, 10 o'clock at night, and I wake up normally between 4 and 5 in the morning. Now, I talked to the doctor about this because it's a rhythm that I'm sure I can change if I have to. It's not like something that I'm kind of medically needing to do or whatever. But I'm just going to wipe my face. Hold on a second. Is anybody else dealing with air conditioning, lack of it? And I'm just so warm today. But anyway, it is a hot day. That's another thing, just stay healthy, generally. Notice your body. More water, I should drink some. But anyway, the point is, restorative sleep is really important. It's when you're older, you heal during that time. As you're young, somebody put a note in one of my comments once, that when you're young, you're growing, you sleep to grow, and when you're older, you sleep to heal. And I think that's really, really important for making sure that you're, just getting deep, good sleep. And that means don't eat before bedtime. This is something I used to do all the time, just as much as you can. Sometimes I'll have a cup of like a turmeric tea or some herbal infusion, but I don't normally drink tea after, 7 o'clock at night or so. Pamper your senses, all of your senses, your mind, with meditation, cultivate mindfulness or sort of stress activities that are going to, keep you kind of happy and relaxed. keep stress under control, reduce stress in general. That's another whole category. And I discovered that with my blood pressure, many of you deal with blood pressure issues too, I have for years, that a lot of it was related to stress. Even right now, I just noticed I'm pushing my foot back on the chair rather than just putting it on the floor. It's crazy. So anyway, making sure that your physical activities are just giving your body a good chance to get rested and to be stress-free. And this actually helps a lot with this cortisol that tends to, find itself a little home in your tummy, your belly fat that people deal with as they get older, and engage on, ways to get, reduce that cortisol injection. Another thing that I'm trying, and it's not so much intermittent fasting, but it's actually trying to have gaps of time between my meals. And so, for example, if I go to bed at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, I'll try to not eat until 12 hours later. I know that's not properly intermittent fasting. I know that it's like, you try to go 16 hours or longer and even fast 24 hours or 23 hours. But it's mainly the idea is to eat within a smaller window, like between 9 in the morning and say 3 in the afternoon, just trying to keep it in a smaller window. And that I've really, really found helpful. Another thing that I've learned through this whole, I think it's very typical when you have an operation, is to really just question your mortality. Look at the fact that I was very fortunate to have good medical care, and that I'm 74 years old, and I'm paying attention now to my health and well-being. But it was just that kind of realization for the introspection and self awareness that there's going to be a few years in my life, probably in the future, when I will have other medical issues. And as I said earlier, unless you're doing everything perfect and you've got perfect genetics and whatever, your body is just going to have challenges sometimes, and you just will need to deal with them. So this is the time in my life to start clarifying, am I doing the things I want? With everything, with my work, with my travel, with my commitments to people and family. Am I doing the things that are really going to take me to the place I want to be in my 80s and hopefully 90s? So it was just that realization that I got to get on with stuff. If I want to do things, I can't just be thinking about them. I've got to make some plans. So there are some places I want to go travel. I want to go to Japan. I definitely have got that on my list of places I want to go. I want to go back to India for a trip to visit my very good friend Veena, who I've been to India like 12 times, and I had a business once around Indian products, so I've definitely got a passion for India. That was the name of my business, actually. But I want to go back and see her, and I want to see Jaipur. I want to see how it's changed, and just go one time. I could say one last time, but who knows? Cultivate a gratitude and thankfulness for the things that I've experienced in my life. Also, this is going to sound crazy, but I have a fascination with the number 7 and the fact that there are many, many cities that are built on 7 hills. And I've been to about 12 of them so far, and I'd like to go to more. So that's another thing. I'm a travel person, right? This may not be your thing. This may not be your realization. You may decide that you want to spend more time meditating or go back to a religious practice, or there may be other things that this kind of a wake-up call brings to you. That it's time that you reinvested yourself in family, that you spend more time with your grandchildren, or that you move to a place where you really want to be. Maybe you want to live on an island. Maybe you don't want to live in a city anymore. But it's that kind of realization that you've got choices, and that an illness or any kind of a wake-up call gives you that opportunity to look at your self-care, your health, your well-being, how you're treating your body, the ways that you're giving it fuel and energy to continue to do all these things that you want to do. But I'd love to talk to you about this, and if you've had a recent wake-up call with your health or with someone else's health, or just your well-being and self-care practices in general, what do you think are the things that you want to start doing more of? What kind of realizations have you had about changes that you might want to make in your lifestyle? I'd really be interested in that conversation. Let's do it. It's just more about just how to use these opportunities to grow and to change and shift in your lifestyle. The focus on well-being, self-care is a stepping stone, to a healthy aging process. Can be done. Take really good care of yourselves. Please, give this video a like if you enjoyed this conversation, and maybe leave a comment below. That always helps with the YouTube algorithm. That if you leave a comment, even if it's just, thanks Margaret, or nice job, or whatever, or that was complete utter rubbish, whatever you want to say. And then our friends at YouTube like that kind of dialogue, and they'll spread it to more people. And also, if you want to join our Patreon group, come join us as an angel. $3 a month. We have a great live shows. I do lots of exclusive stuff, travel videos, and you can get to meet some real people in our community in real life. That's one of the benefits. So just a few things to consider. But thank you for staying with me here, and for, again, all your support while I was going through this, and sending you all lots and lots of love. Take care, everybody. Be strong.